Tuesday to you. So I guess I sort of misled you yesterday because I said I would come on next week and I changed my mind. I really wanted to come on today. And then I'm like, well, why wait till next week? I'm just going to come on. I should have started with this. I want to give you a quick intro to me, to my world, to what I'm about. I am Deborah A. The A stands for Adugo, which is my Igbo name. I am an Igbo girl from Nigeria in West Africa. I was born and partly raised here in the United States, but then I also spent some time in Papua New Guinea. My parents were missionaries. And I'm back here on Turtle Island in the land currently known as Phoenix, Arizona, stolen land from the Fana Avon, Akimel Avon, and Avon Jewed peoples, as well as the Peepash peoples of this area. And I want to share a little bit about what I'm here for. So, I started out trying to help people, well, not trying, helping people with relationships probably about 13 years ago. And I saw that I was pretty good at it. And when people actually took my advice, but I also noticed that I kind of always blended a bit of coaching that I'd learned with spirituality, which I learned from my father, who I call the peacemaker. He has passed and transitioned to another realm, but what he has left with me, the legacy that he left with me, was one of being able to make trust the highest currency in his dealings with everyone. He was a diplomat. He was someone that his Igbo name, Okaomona, means that he's someone that people come to resolve problems, to resolve conflicts. And that's literally the way he lived. He was a peacemaker wherever he went. He something started as conflict and ended it in peace, and that was through the path of diplomacy, which is part of his human design. So he definitely lived his up to his name and his life theme, and he left me an amazing example to follow. My Igbo name, Adugo, daughter of the eagle, is really about this far-sighted vision and wisdom that I have that is not mine. It comes through me to share with other people how you can zoom out and see things differently. And so, anyway, I started out in relationship turnaround as I navigated my own highly challenging relationship, which is part of my life theme. It's part of what I'm here to do. And then eventually I moved into leadership development because I felt like it was more closer to my work. Little did I know that my father's legacy, my mother's legacy, my name, they're all tied to this beautiful arc that is what I'm here to do. So I didn't really actually choose my work. My work was chosen for me by the names and the traditions of the people that came before me. And so it's such an honor to carry this work forward as I'm learning so much about my ancestry. And I have so much more to learn. I'm just getting started. It's so exciting. So, why am I here today? Other than my Igbo heritage and other than my passion for um, talking about things, helping people to zoom out and see a bigger picture, I want to specifically talk about the period of time that we're in because I struggled for the first many years that I was doing my work as a relationship turnaround coach. I struggled with I don't I don't think that the goal I have is the same as the goals my clients have, and it was always bothering me. And then I realized a few years back that really the reason why we had a different orientation, you could say, was because I was looking at a much more zoomed out picture than they were, whether it was in their relationships or their businesses or their leadership in general or their emotional state. They were focused on a very small world inside of a story. Okay. And I don't say that in a negative way. You have to get focused on a small piece. I do the same thing every day. So I'm not knocking that. But what I'm saying is that the story that they were focused in their world inside of was not the same story that I was in. So what ended up happening was I was giving them tools and they were very effective for them, but they weren't really getting the level of satisfaction and joy and expansion that I knew was possible. So it took me several years to kind of distill down the language to understand that I am here for the leaders who understand we are in global transition and are probably in transition themselves in their own their smaller world in the bigger story, which is actually outside of the old story that's dying. So what we call business as usual, Charles Eisenstein coins it the story of separation. That is the era that is ending. And we are now in what many call global collapse. It is already happening. It started a long time ago. It didn't start today. Okay. It's already happening. Most people are still trying to milk and extract from that business as usual system as if things are going to continue that way. They're not. And so just that realization alone will completely change your point of reference, your frame of reference for how you view the decisions that you make moving forward. So for those leaders who are willing to consider that we're in collapse, they run into another set of problems, which is that there's most of the people who already know we're in collapse and who are aware of what's going on. Um, Tend to fall into the group that I love to call the angry activist. I've no beef with angry activists. They should be angry, and I love that they're being activists. I'm not knocking them at all. There's a lot to be angry about in the world. But the challenge is that anger doesn't necessarily coincide with the most constructive way of moving forward. Like it doesn't bring out our greatest resourcefulness. It does bring out more resourcefulness than like let's say depression, but it doesn't bring out the level of resourcefulness that joy, ease, delight, peace can bring. Okay. And if you are familiar with David Hawkins' spectrum of consciousness, you know what I'm talking about, right? Map of consciousness. So what I'm hoping to do is to offer leaders who are open to the idea that we're in global transition and who are in transition themselves in their own leadership, whether it's at home or in their work in the world. I'm here to offer them a way that is less painful, more easeful, more joyful, and just as powerful and as effective as all the other tools that are out there that tend to go for like self discipline, shaming, guilting, uh, all the fear mongering, even all the frequencies that can get people to get things done. But man, they don't really feel that great. Okay. So if that's not really your jam, but you're open to the idea that we could actually be in global transition, then I have something for you. um, this has been something that I, as in in human design, my profile is my public role is a 3-5. I have stumbled and fallen and gotten beaten up to figure this stuff out so that I could share it with you in a way that's very practical and easy to apply in your life, and you don't have to go through what I went through. Okay, this is my part of the way I'm designed, so it's not something I'm upset about. Not all of us are designed like that, but many of us are. So anyway, coming back to what I was saying, here's what I have for you. It is a way of letting go of all of the stress, tension, hustle, and pushing and fighting that a lot of people feel that they need to do to be successful. At the same time, you are successful in a way that you know is doing less harm. We can't avoid doing harm. We're too intertwined with a system that's just pure harm doing. Okay, so none of us can avoid doing harm, but we can lessen the amount of harm that we do when we start to move in the direction of more of an alignment with our genuine nature, who we are here to be, what we are here to accomplish, and how life actually works. When we align with those three things, it is miraculous what can happen. I've witnessed it firsthand from my own life, and I've witnessed it in the lives of the people who've dared to take some of my suggestions, or maybe through someone else have learned some of these tools. But I will say that they're rare. A lot of tools are still power over, not power with. A lot of tools are still based on some form of extraction rather than co stewardship. A lot of tools are still based on fear rather than acceptance, compassion, and trust. A lot of tools are still based on shame rather than respect. And so, and a lot of tools are still violent instead of nonviolent. So there is a lot to be said for the way that I'm bringing this about. And it's incredibly radical. And I know that for some people who are not ready for this frequency, I sound like a raving lunatic. That's okay. This is not for them. For the people who are still here with me, you might be hearing and feeling some resonance. You might be open to checking this out. Okay. So I am really excited to share with you that all of my events that I offer to the public are pay what delights you. So you don't have to worry about being able to afford any of the events that I offer. And however, what happens when you come to those events is you get a chance, whether you come for a one off event like this coming Thursday, we have the community discussion, or if you come for the signature workshop, which is next week, which is 3 90-minute sessions on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where we dive deep into who you are, what role you are here to play as a leader in global transition, and how you understanding yourself through one lens, not the only lens, but one powerful lens, which is human design. You can take 8 specific elements of your human design and use that to radically shift the way that you approach things in your leadership. So, if you come to either of them, you're going to get a chance to taste and experience what it is like to be a part of this movement. This global transition is happening, but the movement is the leaders who are willing to, with eyes wide open, tell the truth, not necessarily lean into their anger or fear around it, although we all have anger and fear, and those are totally understandable, valid, and respect worthy emotions to experience. But we spend more of our time cultivating the frequencies of delight, of love, of excitement, of curiosity, of compassion, of creativity, of courage. We're spending more of our time in those frequencies so that we can really truly tap into what is ours to steward right now. I feel so strongly about this. Can you feel it? Can you feel it in my voice how much I care about supporting the leaders who want to move through this transition in a way that feels empowering, uplifting, um, life revitalizing? It doesn't have to be this depressing doom and gloom thing. And does that mean that I have answers for you? No, I don't have that many answers for you. I might have a couple, but your answers are only housed within you. You are the only expert on you. What my job would be is to be a facilitator, a guide of sorts that walks beside you, kind of helping you to avoid some of the dangers that I'm aware of, while at the same time creating a space, creating containers that help you to feel safe, supported, nourished, seen, held, so that you can actually just relax into the question of, okay, what's mine to do? What's mine to be? What's mine to steward in this moment? And you're not worried about, okay, that was weird. Okay, is this person part of a cult? Okay, what are they trying to get me to buy? You don't have to worry about none of that. That's not where we are. This is really about getting a chance to experience for yourself. I want to move through global transition with optimism, with confidence, with clarity that's grounded in truth, that is not based on a man made illusion. It's not based on a pie in the sky painting, a fantasy that I sell you. It's based on grounded truth in the soil, in your veins, in your DNA, who you are here to be. That can't be changed by anyone's slick talk or manipulative conversation. You can't change that. Who you are here to be and what you are here to serve is so much bigger than that. So I hope that this gives you some clarity as to how I support. the most I can do in terms of talking. But if you come for an experience, I invite you to, you'll get to experience it for yourself and then you'll know. And then I don't have to tell you anything more. Okay, so yeah, those are the two events coming up. This Thursday is a community discussion from 7 to 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 10 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And then next week, same time, actually, yeah, 7 to 8:30 a.m. Pacific on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll be having our Build Your Unique Leadership Style Guide with Human Design in 3 days. We'll be having that next week. And so that's an amazing immersive experience that's just enough to really give you a solid understanding of your unique design leadership style. However, it is not so time intensive that, you have to like majorly rearrange your schedule for it. So it's a beautiful blend of the two. You are welcome. If this is resonating with you, then I highly encourage you to make the time to come. Please don't give me any excuses because it's pay what delights you. There are recordings so you can watch it if you miss a section, but I highly encourage you to come live because that's where the juice is at. That's where the fire is at. All right? So that's a bit about me. I would love to hear about you in the comments and much love. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday.